Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm here with a book review. The book that I am going to be reviewing is The Eyes of Darkness by Dean Koontz. This is the fourth book that I've read by Dean Koontz, and this one was written in 1981 for the first time under the pen name Leigh Nichols. He rewrote it as Dean Koontz in 1996, and this version here is the 1996 version, which you can tell is evident when you read the part that they speculate that Frank Sinatra is making his farewell rounds in Las Vegas, which he died in 1998, so you would think that 96, because he was active up until his last of days, so that would make sense. And Dean Koontz, you could tell, I remember reading Demon Seed, and I realized that it was a later version because of the reference that he made to Winona Ryder. And Winona Ryder definitely wasn't prevalent in the early 70s, so it definitely had to be a rewrite. But The Eyes of Darkness follows a woman in her mid-30s. Her name is Tina Evans. She is a show producer in Las Vegas. Currently, she's working on her show Magic. Magic spelled M-A-G-Y-C-K. It is a circus-like variety show, kind of like Cirque du Soleil, but with their approach. But she is divorced from the very insecure, melodramatic loser, Michael. Tina and Michael were having a strained marriage up until the point of their divorce. Tina had been making her way up the ladder from the bottom up. Michael was a dealer at a casino. That's as far as he went or wished to make effort to go. But the major conflict in the story is that Tina is grieving with the loss of her son Danny, who went on a camping trip with some other fellow students and camp guides, and nobody came back alive. But aspects of the death were very enigmatic. She never got to see Danny's dead body. It was a closed casket funeral. But eventually she comes across a note on Danny's chalkboard that says, "Not dead." And she keeps getting this message. It repeats itself. She'll get it on a computer. And even though initially she ignores it, the more it happens, the more she becomes convinced. And at Magic, she meets someone, happens to be the hotel owner, Charlie Mainway's personal attorney. His name is Elliot Stryker. And Elliot Stryker is a former Army intelligence officer before he became an attorney. And the two of them strike a romantic relationship with one another. They go on a date, and he ends up getting tied into this as well. But I would say that even though I feel that Tina and Elliot's relationship is pretty much glued together, they're pretty much forced upon one another. And that's one of the aspects that I don't like about the book. I thought that Elliot was the strongest character. I thought that he was the most well-developed. I think that he was the most fleshed out. He was the most likable. To me, he kind of reminds me of a admirable Artie Ziff from The Simpsons. Artie Ziff may have not been admirable on the show, but that's kind of the jive that Elliot gave me. And I think that someone like Jonah Hill would be the perfect person to play him. The way that they describe him, and I think that Jonah Hill can stretch out and become quite a badass the way that Elliot was. And Elliot demonstrates his fortitude and his ability to challenge certain situations as the piece progresses. But to me, the other characters came off as being types. I think that Tina pretty much was the mother in distress who would do anything she could to rescue her son. And to me, Danny very much played on the role of a type. I don't want to give too much away, but when you see one of the twists that take place and apply it to Danny, you will think about other characters in similar circumstances with similar traits, and in my mind, those characters were stronger and better developed than Danny. Dean Koontz made mention to the fact that he wanted to incorporate elements of several genres. He wanted to incorporate horror, thriller, supernatural, romance, and he seemed to incorporate so much that it felt like it was written by a beginner in each area. It was so majorly spread out that not a lot of strength was able to be put into all, or at least most of, the areas. And to me, the psychology was, because we need an element of romance, we need to force a relationship between Tina and Elliot. We need to get them on an immediate date and have them engage in sexual activity on that first date. And because we need an element of the supernatural, we need Tina to be very methodic as she's reading the tea leaves. And it felt very cliched at that moment in time. I felt that I thought that it really took a toll on the writing, and that really made this weaker. But even though it was not necessarily written well, I did think that it was a thrill to read. I felt that I was on a thrill ride. I was intrigued to see what was going to happen next. And I also thought that there were moments that were laughable and showed some humor. I thought that that was well done. But I still think that this was just an okay book. One warning for particular readers would be the fact that there are some of the twists involve certain conspiracies that may make you think or reflect on current circumstances, and I'm pretty sure you would know what they are. But if these kind of things wind you up, this may not be the book for you. You might want to avoid this one. But the way that they did it, I was quite intrigued. But to me, that still only does so much. But it does leave me to thinking beyond the text, and I think that's one of its strong points. But I'm going to rate this 3 stars out of 5, and I think that it may be something you would want to check out. I think that you should. I'm warning you that it is not the best written book, but if you want a thrill ride that's if you just want a thrill ride that you can make your way through, then I think that this is something you might be up to checking out. But out of the books that I think The Servants of Twilight was the strongest of the Koontz books that I've read. This one is second best on the basis that the other two books that I've read were not good, and were not as good as this one. But here's my copy of The Eyes of Darkness. This is the 1996 version. And I would be interested to see what the 1981 version was like. And I'm pretty sure that the basic structure is the same. However, that they probably tweaked some details to make it a little bit more current. And I think Koontz wanted to strengthen the quality of his piece, even though I think that there were aspects here that still were not as strong. But I want to thank you for checking out this video. I hope you check out some more videos from our channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe to our channel for more. Give this video a good old like, and if you want to discuss this even more, feel free to do so in the comments. And if you really, really like what you see on our channel, please support us on our Patreon, for the money that we make will allow us to provide you, the viewer, with even more great content. And being a patron will provide you with access to even more exclusive content and perks. Thank you, and for now, keep reading.